What's up? Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope we had a good weekend. Man, let's get into it. ATR is 21. You are looking at a 5-minute NQ chart as always. Let's see what we get, man. Maybe 25 will have something for us here kind of right off the rip. I'd prefer to see 26 as well, but I gotta be honest. I mean, looking at this, you could draw that. I don't think there's a great argument for a sideways trading range, at least not including all this. But you could also draw this. Okay, so let's see how 25 closes up here. I'm gonna kind of leave it as that for now. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Good morning. All right, 243 out here. Come on, 25. So we shall find out how this year will be. Again, it depends on the year, how the volatility ends up being this week. Sometimes it's dead, other times it's surprisingly moving. I gotta tell you, in 213, if this can close nice and clean, might have about a B setup here for me. Let's see what we get. There he is. All right. 48 seconds. Come on, 25. Give it to me. Give me a nice clean close. And then we'll see if I can get a fill. I tend to kind of think context here is big old soft bear check. So 20 seconds out, copy trader, engaged. Make sure this bar stays within reason compared to the ATR it is. ATR is 22. Go ahead and get a stop limit sell. Ready? Boom, place that guy there, see if we can get a fill. I'm gonna give that about 20 seconds. Come on, Bears. Come on, Bears. 5 seconds. No fill, no trade. Gotta pull it. All right, let's see what 26 brings here. So what's up? You guys have a good weekend or what? I know some of you guys are in the phase. Man, we've all gone through the phase. The trader phase where you just cannot stand holidays because the market's closed. Or at least not moving. You know what? I think it's okay. But eventually you kind of got to grow out of that phase because, you know, holidays come once a year. Trade every damn. Come on, 26. Lark, big dog. Good work. Let's check out 2-minute chart. Let's head on back to a 5-minute chart. Not looking too hot over on the 2. All right, let's get rid of this. We know that it's there. We will not forget about that. The 26 kind of hesitating here. All right, 60 seconds here. At least get 26 closing as a small bull body. Okay. All right. Now let's see 27. Let's see 27 fade into a nice 1, 2, 3 ram continuation from 25, 26, and 27. Now, if 27 decides to pop, especially if it takes out the wick high at 23, all of a sudden the context kind of shifts to shorter-lived soft bull channel. We got to keep an eye on the wick high of 6. But if we do want to grind up higher, it'll take 100 points, 90 points. But I wouldn't mind being able to stop hunt the wick high of 1 eventually. How many trades are you guys in today? Like deep on the day, I mean. How many have you taken? Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you're trading RAM, the numbers should not be that high. And I don't mean on any given day, I mean today. There are a lot of days where the numbers should be pretty damn high if you're trading RAM. We just haven't seen that in a couple of weeks. All right, well, 30 seconds out. All right, 27 has a big giant wick up top, so now I wait on 28. If 28 can be reasonable, bear side, come on. Don't take that higher. All right, if the bulls take this back up through here, we may have a single bar trading range on our hands, which is kind of worst case scenario for all of us. I mean, no matter what strategy you're really running. If 28 can fade, let's keep that wick up just about that size. 28 can fade. And give us a close. Well, I mean, at least well beneath the wick low of 21, obviously. But closer to beneath the wick low of 20, though it wouldn't be. Then I've got something. Yeah, Royal, you can apply RAM to any time frame you'd like as long as there's enough liquidity per bar. So I wouldn't go, you know, trade RAM on the 1 second natural gas chart, you know what I mean? Even at NQ, like it's just. But if you want to trade it on a 2-minute NQ chart, there is enough. There's plenty of data per bar because, you know, volume on NQ is pretty damn high to fill those bars so that the price action becomes indistinguishable from higher time frames. If you remove the time and the price, the chart, you'd be like, you know when you take like a 5-minute chart on ES or NQ, if you remove the time, all indicators, and the price, and you look at it, it should be kind of hard to tell, and you don't look at the opens and closes, that volatility, you know? It should be kind of hard to tell whether it's what time frame it is, because it could look the same as an hourly. Not the hourly, but a hourly chart. It could look similar, because you don't know what time frame it is. So as long as that's the case, more or less, there's enough liquidity per bar, there is no reason you can't trade RAM on a daily, on a weekly, on an hourly, on a 30-minute, on a 4-hour, on a 15-minute chart, on a 5-minute, on a 2-minute. Hey, if you want to trade on a 1-minute, more power to you, but I think you're going to get fatigued pretty quick. And then your decision-making goes, kind of down the drain. So, believe me, if it made more sense for me to trade this on the 1-minute all day, every day, I would be. But it's not about how, smart you are, how quick you think. It's just natural. If you're having to make decisions 60 times an hour, big trading decisions, probably not going to be able to make good decisions for 4 hours. All right, minute 25 out here from the close of 28, and so far we're getting a whole lot of nothing. Now, ideally, if 28's going to hang out here, that's fine. I just don't want it to pop back up and maybe take out the wick high at 25 or get close to it. All right, here comes the open of bar 29. ATR is 18. I gotta tell you guys, I'm excited for January. I don't want to skip over the last part of December, obviously, because, you can still make money. Silly that I see people talking like, oh, I'm just gonna take off till January. It's like, come on. You don't really want to be a trader that much, do you? You just like the thought of making money. You don't actually like to trade. I don't know, man. I mean, all the traders that I know, they don't want to stay away for 2 weeks. I mean, what the hell? At least all the good traders that I know. But I am excited for January. Once you get through the holidays and all that's said and done, we all had a good time, and everyone kind of gets back to it, it's nice to have that stable, okay, time to work. And the market environment, there's really no excuse for it anymore to be slow or abnormal. All right, halfway through, bar 29 here. Come on, 29. Give us a push, baby. All right, let's take a poll in the chat because this is one of those scenarios that I'm actually curious what everyone's kind of looking at here. There isn't a right answer, by the way, but if you think the context right now or the situation the market's in is soft bear channel like I just drew, type bear in the chat. Yeah, I actually want to get a feel for what everyone's kind of feeling here. If you think we're in a soft bull channel like I just drew, type bull in the chat. Okay. If you think that we're just going to do this, type range in the chat. Let's see how 29 closes up. Oh my god, it's a totally mixed bag. Bear bull, bear bull, bear bull. Sideways, sideways, bear bull. Jesus. Minute 15. Come on, 29. All right, ATR seems to kind of be holding up down here. Back up to 19. Now, I would love to not see ATR start dipping beneath like 50. That'd be a disaster. Well, below 10 would be a disaster. All right, 29 is going to close inside the wick high of 27, which means I wait for 30. And I still got to keep my eye on the wick high of 23. ATR down to 17. Well, a lot of those algos are kind of already autopilot, you know? It's kind of funny. I think when people think of like the trading universe, at least like the suit and tie kind of bullshit, people think of the pits in 1980 Chicago, or I guess the pits in New York. But I think mostly Chicago because it was kind of gnarly, right? Today, I mean, realistically, Wall Street is kind of, at least in the traditional, like you work for an institution sense, is kind of a lot of Ivy League grads who just grind on the computer all day. They're not trading, really. They're more like quants They're programmers. They're running models. It's kind of like grindy 9 to 5 stuff, really, more than it is like trading. And the guys who actually are on their own doing actual trading, I mean, they're kind of like, I don't want to put like, because there's a lot of different kind of traders, obviously, but like a lot of like Wall Street guys traditionally, like, they're going to work right through the holidays, man. Come on, 30. But, you know, it's kind of a shame because the glory days of the testosterone-fueled, aggressive trading pits of the 80s, it's kind of dead, you know? It's too bad. But to be fair, I will say I think today's a better time than any. Because at the end of the day, like, being able to do this from anywhere in the world, it's kind of nuts. All right, 30, what you got? Well, I better pop over, huh? Now, I gotta tell you, I'm thinking about this, but we don't have more context of that. We actually, it's not really a 50-50. If it's 50-50 between soft bull channel and sideways trading range, I have to lean toward the sideways trading range because it's the thing that's more dangerous to me. But right now, we have more of an argument for that soft bull channel than we have the trading range. If 30 closes, I gotta take it because the bar is so small, the risk is small. So, 12 seconds out, copy trader engaged. Yeah. Gotta put a stop limit buy out. Place that guy, get a fill, go ahead and risk the signal bar only, which is very tight risk. What are we looking at here? 13.25 points on the risk, and we'll see if we can get a pop. Get about 1 R here. See if we. Now, if this trading range turns into a thing, by the way, that's fine, but I have to put that up. The way that it currently sits, baby. All right, Bulls. Step on in. Show him who's boss with a big old 13-point. There's what you got. Risk is the signal bar, wick low plus a point, or I guess minus a point in this case. See if the bears can take that out. But they gotta take the full wick out if they want it. You see that hesitation down around the wick low of 30. That is why I gotta risk the signal. If a bar is within reason, but you're like, I can't afford to risk the signal bar, then you gotta trade smaller. ATR, by the way, down to 16. Bulls! Now time to step in, man. Let's get this volatility picked up. ATR 16. Alright, cut it there, get flat. See what 32 brings. I really hope you don't turn into this, man. That would be a real nice volatility killer. Which is concern A. Is keeping this ATR right here at 17, keeping that number as high as possible, man, I guess within reason. All right, minute 5 out here till the open of 33. We're on like my connection. I'm 30 again because of this. I'm sorry, I'm 32. Nothing I can do on 32. 33, maybe. Depends on closes. Let's see what we 10 seconds. All right, 30. The reason I can't take 32 is because we're, now that we have this second rejection up top. Previously, we only had one on either side. Now the Bears saw this and decided to put that in. Again, sideways trading range is pretty likely at that point. So I have to wait for 33, because 32, if I short it, then, it's more than likely, probably about 60% chance at least, that it's going to fade the same way that buying the close of 30 did, now that this range is more in than it has been. So if 33 can take out the low of, 28? Low of 21, get down here and close, all of a sudden, okay, sure. But just closing here, on 33, that's then I gotta wait for 34. Best thing that can happen right now, man, is a Trump tweet or something. Because again, right now, public enemy number 1 here on a 5-minute NQ chart is that red number at the bottom right of your screen getting lower. Oh, Brando, man. November was a nice month. November was good. Now, the beauty is, for some of you guys who are a little bit like newer in this space, totally cool. We've all been new, right? And you're like, so I'm sure you're wondering, you're like, what's more normal? November or December? Well, like what it has been this year, November, December. I'll say this, December, at least like right now, like starting from bar 16 until now, I would say that this is more abnormal, though it's expected around the holidays, right? But this, year-round, from bar 16 onward to 33 currently, this kind of low volatility is more abnormal than the average day in November was abnormal. Does that make sense? November was nice price action. That wasn't like, it's not going to be like that all the time, constantly. But I think it's closer to average than, this. these numbers, it's just counting the 5-minute bar since the New York Open. That's it. That's it. It makes it much easier to discuss the trades, different time zones. Because we are global, baby. God, it's such a pain in the ass. When I have different time zones, people don't think about it, but it's like, oh, I took the 10:15 bar. It's like, and then they're like, oh, I live in Dubai. It's like, Jesus. Sweet spot for ATR, man. I'm not picky. Between like 30 and 70, we can do work. 30 and 70 is great. Somewhere between there. Question. They say I got approved for my first ever payout with Apex. Hey, good work. Yep, you got the payment sent email on December 18th. How long should it take to show in the bank account? So every morning, it usually hits early in the morning, usually. And honestly, man, I've had it take anywhere from like a few days. You're very early still, understand that. I've had it take anywhere from a few days to like 2 weeks. But it always comes, okay? So don't worry about it. Just chill, trade. I get it if you're frustrated because you're like, well, I kind of need the money. Man, it'll hit when it hits, man. There's nothing you can do about it. I probably wouldn't go reaching out to support if it hasn't been even like 2 weeks yet. Just chill out. One morning you'll check, it'll be like, oh, sweet, it's there. In the meantime, just try to get more payouts. Once you get the payout sent, email, or I guess once you get the payout approved, man, I just try to forget about it and keep track of it later when it hits. Oh, and by the way, you know, I know a lot of you guys like to ask the logistical stuff. Here's a logistical tip for you. Especially like with Apex payouts, okay? May not have thought of this yet. Something that I figured out and learned was when you're requesting multiple accounts at a time, or even, like, let's say you request one account and then 2 days later you request one account, or let's say you request 5 accounts and then 3 days later you request 3. It really varies whether they lump the payments together and it hits your account as one payment, or if it hits in multiple payments. So, don't learn the hard way. Take good records. Because listen, you're inevitably probably going to have months where you take a lot of payouts. You take, 10, 20, 30, like 40 payouts plus. And that when 6 of them get lumped together and then you get one at a time randomly, it's like you want to make sure that you're getting all your money. So keep like an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets document, right? And you're going to have to go back and be like, okay, so they lumped these 3 together. Oh, they lumped these 5 together. Oh, I got this one on its own for some reason. Just keep reasonable records. It'll take you 5 minutes if you do it from the get-go. If you wait until the end of the month, and then you're like, I should probably check to make sure I got it all, huh? It's going to be kind of a pain in the ass. But, you know what? Good problem to have. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be back in a few minutes. Let's get some volatility going in this market, man. Be right back! Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Well, should we check out gold? Man, let's see what gold is doing. All right, ATR on gold is 4. That's not too bad. You can't go 1-to-1, obviously, with NQ. That's not too bad. All right, well. I mean, I'll tell you what, 25 seconds out here, we are trading GC. That is gold. I will go ahead and get the copy trader engaged. 15 seconds just in case. Just in case. That's going to say the symbol is NQ. You know what? We're going to have to deal with that. It's not. It's GC. Let's see if we get something. Nothing. Wick is too big there on 37. No trade. Let's head back to NQ, check it out. We will keep an eye on gold, since it is kind of moving. Let's head back. Gotta make do with what's working, huh? But we'll stick around on gold for a little while. What's up over here? Well, I think the move right now is GC. I think gold is the move, man. Let's hang out over here, I guess. All right, 10 seconds here, and we'll get the open of bar 39. Yeah, the problem with NQ right now is that's the issue. For me to short NQ, I mean, 1000%, I would need to see another bar. Let's say 39 closed here. I would need to see 40 open and close like down here. And all of a sudden I'm getting short NQ. But in the meantime, back to GC. Just wicking out right now. $220 out. Man, ATR on NQ down to 13. Gold is holding up in the fours on the ATR. It's All right, 40. What you got for us, big bar? 40. Yes. ATR 2.7. No. All right, well, 3.5 minutes out, you know. So I'm on gold right now. This is GC, February. You know, 38, 39, 40 would be a setup if 40 could pop and close like up in this region, but then you got to start thinking about, well, which argument do you want to make? Like a soft bull wedge or a straight up sideways trading range. And in the case of being able to make the argument of a straight up sideways trading range, which as time goes on, you're more and more able to make this argument here, right? It starts getting kind of tough to make sense of a trade. 240 out. We're gonna have to keep popping around. All right, NQ. All right, well, I actually... Our quickest path to a setup right now might actually be NQ. If bar 40 can continue lower, give us a nice fade, closing well beneath the wick low of 21. Can it do it? Probably not. Come on, 40. Do it to him. Yeah, ATR here on NQ right now is 13.5. No, it's workable. If a setup comes, I would still put it on. But it does make our job here tougher. We don't want is for that ATR to dip beneath 10. If it dips beneath 10, I'm out of here. Unless gold starts doing something. The ATR on gold is still 4. Now remember, gold is $100 a point per contract, rather than 20 on NQ. You can't, you know, it's not apples to apples on the ATR. Let's head back to NQ. See if 41 can give us a push lower outside of this little argument for, you call it a wedge. You know, you could also just call it a trading range. Doesn't really matter. I'd probably call it that. Keep it simple. Yeah, you see that right back up into the range. Yeah. Right back into the range. All right, coffee. You're back. What's up? Welcome back. All right, we're looking at NQ right now. Nice little pop, nice little bull body. Let's see what 42's got. 340 out. Keep an eye on gold at the same time. Not too much over here on GC. So we'll pop back to NQ and hang out over there. We'll get rid of this as soon as we can. And see if 42 can give us a half reasonable bull body and a nice clean close. Obviously, got to be well above the wick high of 23. Ideally, above the wick high of 8. Well, probably, certainly above the wick high of 8 at least. To convince me that we're actually attempting a strong breakout of the channel. Range, that is. Yes, making a similar move, actually. But I will watch and... Come on, 42! $225 out. Good, 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 good. Bull's got to convince me, man. Got to hold it up high. Pop over to the execution screen just in case here. $60 seconds. ATR here is 14. Not very high. 37 seconds to give us a pop. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll get the copy trader engaged just in case. Just in case. We gotta see a close up above. All right, next bar, 43. In the meantime, we'll start with gold. Trying to put something together, kind of young. Yes. Keep an eye on 43, kind of across the board here. Back to NQ for now. You know, Joel from Affordable Indicators, if you happen to see this clip, you know, all of us using the Affordable Indicators copy trader, you know what we need? We need preset buttons for different instruments. So if I want to transfer over to ES, I want to click one button and it sizes all my accounts with the proper preset when I click on ES, and it changes the instrument and everything. That would make our life a lot easier, and I think ease up on mistakes between instruments. I imagine a lot of people intend to size down when they switch from NQ to gold. And they forget. And if gold is especially volatile that day, that could be a problem. No, right now I am using a funded 300k Apex account as my leader. I trade one NQ in that, then I copy trade to my other accounts, and do mini or micro per account. Then I set the sizing based on an X value of 1. All right, there's the open of 44. We are 3 minutes out here from the close of 44. Rolling, come on now, big dog. We can't ball out like that when ATR's 14. So black coffee it is, man. All right, 44. What we got? All we have left is blueberry and blue slush. And I hate those flavors! Every company, man, half their flavors are slushy variations. Tastes like syrup. I'm all 44. All right. Well, 23 seconds till the close here. Big bar 44. 45. Gonna tell us a story, baby. Who we get? 15 seconds. I can't take 44 because we're still inside of a big sideways trading range. Don't conveniently forget about context. Just because you get excited. Gotta wait on 45. All right, 40. Take out that wick low of 40. By the way, guys, that Apex deal, 80% off, that ends in like less than 36 hours. Code BIG, B-I-G, 80% off. Go hit that up, Apex. I wonder, we don't know if they're doing, they don't, I've heard nothing. As far as a holiday deal. I mean, we'll see if they do. I hope they do. But I'm not sure I'd be willing to gamble on that. Yeah, I tried that one. That was pretty bad. I was not a fan. All right, 45. Yeah, you're ready. They made up for it. Actually, I like the, gonna sit around talking about Alani flavors like a bunch of women. I like the holiday one, man. The holiday one's actually really good. It's a little different from last year. $65 seconds. Well, I better pop over to the execution screen. 30 seconds out. Go ahead and get the copy trader engaged. I need this guy to close well beneath the wick low of 40. So let's see. I don't know about this, huh? I don't think we're gonna get it. But I better be ready. Nope. So I wait for 46. Let's see what 46 brings. Yeah, I'd say, let me think. My favorite flavor from them, from Alani, has got to be the Cosmic Stardust one. That one's really good. That one is really good. Also, the Fuji Apple Pear from Celsius is fire. I'm all 46. Nico, question on Take Profit Trader for the eval accounts. If you hit the goal on the first day, how do you get around the consistency rule for the next 4 days? You can't get around it. You cannot make more than 50% the goal on any given day in a Take Profit Trader test. So, if you're running a 150K test account at Take Profit Trader, you cannot make more than $4,500 in one futures trading session. And if you do, they'll adjust you up. So my goal with Take Profit Trader tests, I always go into it, I try to make half the goal on day 1. If I do, I try to make half the goal on day 2. And then if I do, I just flip a micro the rest of the 3 days. All right, 238 out. Let's see what we get here out of the close of 46. And a 45 out might have something here. If we get a nice clean close out of 46. If we do, I've got a big old present wrapped with a big old red bow for the Bears. If they can hold this 46 down and close with very little wick. Alright, well that's going to roll over with a whole lot of nothing here on NQ. So we'll watch 47. I suppose let's go around the horn here and take a peek. Yes, HR 2.5. It's kind of tight. Gold. HR down to 3. We were at 4, 4.5 previously, which is a little more reasonable. 3 is kind of getting a little bit low here on gold. That's the GC for February. So I guess our best bet here is going to be NQ, huh? HR 13, which is also low. All right, 3 minutes out here. Come on, Bears. All right, back in a minute. All right. Welcome back. Just in time, baby. 48. Come on, big 48. Again, we are watching NQ. This is the 5-minute chart. If 48 can give me a nice, clean, bare close with very little wick, then I've got a stop limit sell to present to the bears. Let's see if they can do it 4 minutes out. Oh, there's a bunch of babies! ES was starting to look relatively reasonable. If that volatility could increase a tad. What's gold look like? Gold is looking like a wedge. HR still down at 3. Back to NQ. Well, I'm almost tempted to head over to ES, man. ES ain't looking too bad. Except for that 2.68 TR, but again, it's not apples to apples with NQ. If we saw 2.6 on NQ, that'd be a problem. Does anybody here trade crude or natural gas? Here, let me ask this. Does anybody here trade anything other, consistently, anything other than NQ, ES, or gold, GC? And what is it? 3 minutes out here from the close of bar 49. Yeah, platinum, YM, the basics. All right, 210 out here, by the way. All right, keep an eye on ES here. 18 seconds out. Nothing. 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 That EMA on screen, that's a 20 EMA, but don't focus too heavily on that. That is the least important thing on my screen. By far. Question, how do we feel about shorting ES? I don't feel anything. I just wait for the market to tell me when to execute according to RAM, and then I do. How do you feel is completely irrelevant. Has nothing to do with feelings at all. So if ES was closing, telling me, hey, it's time to put on a short, it would be on. All right, guys, I'm gonna go to lunch. This is slow, man. I'm out of here. I'm off to lunch. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, man. Get ramped up. January's coming, baby, but don't just skip over the holiday. We can make some money in the meantime. At least show up and see what we can get, right? And enjoy the holiday, man. You get a finite amount in your life. You can trade 250 days a year. All right, guys. All right. See you in the morning. Have a good one.